What's up, Bud? What are you doing there?
I'm working.
What are you working on?
I'm working on the first pneumatic paintball gun rifle.
Wow.
And it does work.
It does work. I'm actually really surprised by how fast you're actually cycling it.
You could shoot. I'll tell you what, here. About 20 years old.
Was that the stuff that came out of Florida?
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. We're going to experiment here. Okay.
Hey, it's both
We'll have to
rounder
load
and
it.
bigger than today's paint.
All right.
That's a two-man job.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Ain't that a bitch?
It works.
Oh, my.
It's alive.
All right.
Just cover the balls and do it.
Shot both of them.
Yeah, it shot.
How fast?
Oh my god.
Damn.
76.
Awesome.
So bitchin'.
I really cannot believe that you got it
How
working.
many years now?
In 1988 is when this was built. Summer of 88.
31 years.
Yeah.
I shot it in 88. I get to shoot it again. Both of us have seen a lot in life.
I mean, this one's mostly seen the inside of Sergey's closet, but
How long has it been since it was shot?
I would imagine probably, I think Sergey got it from John Pope around 1990 or probably 89. I think John Pope shot this for a little while and then we started shooting a Vindicator.
So 28, 29 years?
Yeah.
And his skills are still good?
I mean, those pneumatic components are...
So what did you fix when you were tinkering with it?
Everything. No. I just adjusted the ram, cleaned it up a little bit, and some of the seals were bad on the ram. Just changed it. I think one O-ring right here and tighten the rest of them. It's fine.
Yeah.
It seems like it worked really nicely.
I mean, for 1988, it works fantastic.
I guess if you're playing Pump and you've only seen Pump and then you see that, you're like, I quit.
Yeah.
I'm done. Or you're like, I'm gonna make a better one. That's
Let's make
awesome.
a better one.
Yeah.
This is I mean, when you look at the way this is, you know, it's your vertical. That's what I put in the trigger frame.
Yeah.
Mine's a little smaller than this.
Grab that one out. It's,
How fast would you think it's shooting right now?
that one right there. Then. Yeah, that one. Be careful, though.
Fast you pull the trigger.
FPS
Oh,
wise.
SP. I would imagine it's up there like 250, maybe.
It's pretty good because this exhausts out the front.
Yeah.
But you're saying...
You got a mask. I kind of want to get shot by a gun that old.
That's
Gonna go
fine.
pop one into me in the backyard.
I'll do it right here.
Here, hang on.
I want some space.
There you go. You want to
I ain't
what?
getting bunkered right now, or maybe I will. Getting bunkered by the first semi-automatic paintball gun by Bud Orr is worth it. I'm taking this mask.
What kind of paint is it that you're shooting? That you're going to shoot Benji with?
This is war paint. It's the first ones that came off the machine.
What year?
2000.
Oh. Grab
And
this
they
first.
still work.
Well, we'll see if they still work.
Ah! Okay. All right.
Not the nuts.
Not a nut shot.
Not the nut shot.
Oh! you got your glasses on though.
Oh my God. You should be wearing the mask. You better clean that barrel.
What mask is that?
Clean that barrel. You can't
slide
accurately
profit.
shoot
Oh.
a dirty barrel.
No.
That was a bit premature, wasn't it?
Yeah. I should have been recording that in slow motion.
It happens when you don't want to and the sticky stuff goes where you don't want it. Oh God, here it comes.
Ready? Where do you want to get hit?
Looking like right there. It came out. Did it break on me?
Yeah.
It felt like splinters into me.
Right here.
There you go. One more. Whoa. Ah.
Oh man. I'm calling that one splatter.
Splatter.
Yeah.
Uno mas.
Well, wait a minute. Let me clean this barrel.
On.
He's gonna start slow-mo.
All right, we're slow mowing.
Ready?
Okay, wait for him to get slow-mo on here.
Ready?
We're ready.
Oh, there's an exit wound.
Shoot it not!
You think it's shooting about 150?
Let's see it.
Oh, shit.
Crease first strike.
Oh, that was an honor.
There's probably going to be a hole in your shirt.
There is already.
All right, Bud, what do you got? Looks like a constant air setup on a KP2.
Set up anvil bottle, rifle, made back in 87, 86.
Not earlier than that.
Probably, well, I was on a headhunter, so it had to have been 80, 85, 86.
Yeah. So you said Ansel, and that's actually what's on the cylinder here.
Yep.
Ansel. And you cut the stock, and is it a hard line running up to the valve? Side tapped into the valve?
Tapped valve.
And you also made the feed on that, and you were making those feeds, and who were you selling them to? AGS, yeah.
And just whoever brought them over.
Yeah, yeah. How many feeds like that do you think you made?
Probably 150 maybe.
Was it one of your first products?
Yes.
Very cool. And that has your pump handle?
Had the pump handle. I made the pump handle, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most obvious part that you made. Cool. All right, Bud, what do you got?
Okay, I got my first autococker that I've ever built, and with the assistance of Jamel from Sacramento.
Yeah.
He helped me build a regulator, and I built all the little fitting stuff, and then put the ram on it. Yeah. And we put the three-way in trigger frame. I'm trying to find all the parts to put it back together.
Yeah.
And this is one of the first one. It worked really fine too.
So one thing that you and Jamil have both mentioned is instead of having a front block when you built your first autocockers, or autococking snipers, they used just components mounted on the front, and we can really see that in this case. Yeah. So. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we can see right here that
this is a ram.
You got your ram right there, and it's the same kind of ram that you ended up using on early. Clippered rams. And then you have your regulator, which looks very similar to the regulators that you offered on your first autocockers.
Yeah, these are the first ones. Jamel and I made some really oddball regulators, and one of them was like a pencil. Yeah. I have them here somewhere.
Yeah, just different variations.
Variations.
Trying to see what would work.
Yeah, and that's the whole enchilada right there.
Yeah, so we can see Sniper 1 back block, Sniper 2 frame that's cut out, and then components mounted on the front, and we can just see how they're actually mounted. Yeah. Pretty neat.
Drill a hole in the center and put a nut on a piece of rod and do it to it.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. Who's the better person?
Yeah. So this one's a ram box, right?
That's
So Rambo at SC Village was making these probably 87 to early 88. And then right around early 88, you came out with the ammo box. And he also came out with the ram box. But the ram box had a huge flaw in that it separated in the center. But his original loader right here is really, it's really an innovation that stood out in early Southern California paintball. You love that speed feed too. There we go. We got the standard ram box right here. We can see the form factor is the same, but obviously that flaw of
The
having
ability to pop off
yeah,
came. It was good for the guys wanting to get them.
yeah, for the
See, we
opposing
put
team.
the tape across it.
Yeah, probably
It does have the name Rambox.
ram box right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, what do we got here, bud?
The expansion chamber from Mac 1, Tim McMurray. He came to my shop one day. This is way back in the 80s. And he brought this to me and said, "This is an expansion chamber." I said, "Okay." He said, "It'll make your gun shoot better." I said, "Okay." And so we went out in the alley, and there was a building that was probably, I would say, 300 feet from me, 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And a big red alarm bell on it. And that's how we tested accuracy. And I shot it and hit the bell, and he was going to come out with something, and he said, "Awesome," got on his bike and left, and that's the last I seen of him.
Huh.
But he was an innovator.
Yeah.
The word I heard that he was the first one to ever put a pump on PGP, and he worked for PMI. PMI, I think.
He was contracted by PMI,
Yeah,
Tim McMurray. Yeah, Perlmutter and David, I think, contracted him for some things. Like one of the things that they contracted him for was, or one of the things that he brought up to them that needed to be done on the PGPs was moving the sight bead further forward on that front top tube plug, because then you can fit your 10th ball in there and, use a normal, and also lower the height of the sight bead, because if your sight bead's higher than your back sight, then you're going to be, let's see, what are you doing? You're angling your barrel down.
Higher, yeah, it'd be shooting low.
Shooting low, yeah. But this is his expansion chamber, and I have seen, I think, one other one of these, and the only way I knew it was him is because it had the instructions. But it was also anodized. This one's not anodized, so it's probably...
This is the first one.
This is the first one. This is his prototype. He brought it out to you, and you put it on a... What did you put it on at that time? Sniper?
It was a sniper pump.
Yeah. Is this the first expansion chamber you ever saw?
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Did you see anyone else?
No, I had never seen one after this. I didn't know if he manufactured them.
Did you see other people using expansion chambers to allow liquid to expand prior to this?
Just me.
Just you. Yeah.
And Cooper T.
Cooper T?
Cooper T made a system. I think it's sitting down there somewhere. And then on that bottle right there, the
All right.
cylinder.
Let's take a look at
This had a 3 ounce, I think.
So here's
No,
another.
this was the regular tank.
Yeah.
And this was the expansion chamber. And it came up and you filled it.
I mean, you fill your tank normal, right?
Yeah.
And then you screw it in, and that's your output right there, that top hole. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worked well.
Did you...
But you had to use it on the backpack.
Yeah.
Basically.
Did you have much interaction with Cooper T?
Yeah.
Chauncey?
Yeah.
Chauncey Toombs, right?
Chauncey Toombs.
Yeah. What was your takeaway from interactions with him? What's a memorable thing that you remember about him?
Changes.
Pump changes?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, when I made my pump changes, he made a detent type bolt for PGPs, I think it was.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I asked him if I could use that idea on a pump change. He said, "Sure, go ahead."
Oh, so that actually was...
Yeah.
Your pump changer actually stemmed from that. Yeah, because he came up with that idea, and then PMI kind of ripped him off, right? And they put it on the Speed Demon.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Well, I mean, that's what I believe is the case. But, he sued them. So I think, and I think he won his suit. Unlike Mac 1, he actually won the suit against PMI, as I remember.
Yes, but, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It would, completely. So Russell and I got to checking around, and I got a light, and I held it sideways. And after we put some goo on it, paintball fill, and on the flat one, what we done to start out with was we made this one flat, okay? And then when we shoot it in the face, and we'd get two things that happen. if you shot it in here, paintball fill would get up underneath the lens and go into your face. Never, you know, because most people wore glasses anyway. And so after that, we let it set overnight and come back and the lens would be split open. Come to find out, we'd put goo on it and let it set for a period of time, and then it would wipe it all off, and I'd shine a light sideways. And if you shine the light this way, it looked like rainbows, and it was all minute cracks. So we found out by doing that you had to form these. You had to make them formed
Because
to be flat.
you originally had designed it to be able to,
Flat and bend into
yeah.
place.
So we did that, and then they didn't want to really put this on, so we had them put this on because people got shot in the eye. And then we had a couple more changes, and a major change that we had was putting this on. Because people, when they used them, just flipped them up, you know, very easily. So we put this on for a safety deal, you know, and the guy got mad at us, the manufacturer, and he got kind of aggravated because he was always making changes. And I told the guy it was always safety changes. He didn't care, and then PMI came in and took it, basically. Within the first few months, I think, they were using these for police officer training. Okay, and right away, some police officer raised it up, got shot in the eye, and lost his eye. There was a newspaper article came out on that just recently. Somebody had posted about it. But Russell Maynard and I designed majority of it, and we wanted to put this on it. Keep that from happening. But it was great.
Yeah.
You protect your ears, you know, you get goo in your face and stuff.
What was the mask of choice up until you started making that?
Tom Case, you know, the one he had with the shot car.
But this would probably be around the same time as the Whippersnapper, because Tom
Yeah.
Case was much earlier, right?
Well, it was Tom Case, this,
Yeah.
and then the whippersnapper.
Yeah. So at the time you were working with Russ on this, Russ was involved with the IPPA.
Yeah.
He was,
We birthed both. You know, all
yeah,
the
yeah.
manufacturers.
He also was involved with APG at that time too, right? Was this while he was working with APG?
He was an editor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Was he working at Camp Pendleton yet when this was going on? This is prior to Pendleton.
shortly after that, he did.
Gotcha.
Next three.
This is kind of a weird electronic. Look at that.
You see the bolt?
Yeah, take the bolt out.
The bolt looks see-through. Oh no, that's there's
The
a clear
channel.
sleeve right there.
Yeah.
Probably one of the funniest for
Hold it up so we can.
whenever
God, this form factor is just absurd.
Did you notice the clear panel in that top tube?
What do you remember about that, bud?
I don't know where I got it.
So bizarre.
I just,
And it has like is that brake beam when there's an eye on either side?
Yeah, it's got electronic frame. It's got brake beam eyes.
Huh.
I mean, it screams
I've never
Chinese
seen the
knockoff.
logo.
Is that even the logo? Just all looks swooshy. It almost looks like
What does that say?
like a diadem.
Just Dodge.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's just absurd.
Reminds me of like a diadem. Like whoever designed the diadem would make
Yeah.
this.
So on this one, it takes a 12 rim under the grip, and you load your paintballs.
Load the paintball, space, pull that out. Load the paintballs in there,
Spring load.
and it feeds them.
Huh. And this is all one cast assembly right here?
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
Wild.
Oh,
And someone actually came here from South Africa and gave you that.
yeah.
Does that thing work?
Do you want to get shot by
I
it?
carried it and worked it for a while.
Huh.
It,
And that shoots 68 cal?
yeah.
I want to shoot
It
that.
was pretty accurate.
Like, I would blast people on the field with that.
I mean, well, this stays closed when you put a CO2 in it.
Oh, it's a magnet or something?
Eccentric.
Huh.
I couldn't get it in, and then I had to knurl it.
Huh.
You know, and then it finally went
There's
in.
any 12. God, where are your 12 grams?
Oh, here's some.
Slide it back in there.
Slide it in, twist it.
Hey, I'm downrange of that, Benji. So we can see on this one the back block is the second portion of your first sniper's back block. It's like a mirror of it. Oh, and you have that same
I got a dial of welt in it.
dial of welt in there. Cool.
Oh.
His dad made them.
Oh, because he was machining for all kinds of people, right? He was machining for
The
Tasso.
only valve he made was
This is your. Oh, no. It was with that gun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was sitting next to it.
Silver?
So this is like the top of a, or the,
That one.
yeah, the side of a thermo valve that would seal against the male screw-in part, but it's on top of a ASA pin valve. And Bud was saying that Robert at Niche, his father was actually machining these. I don't think I've ever seen one of these before, though.
This is the on. You notice my on-off because of this here.
Oh, the ridges on it?
And it screw in and missed the trigger frame.
Oh, gotcha.
Because if you use this valve on it,
Yeah.
it wouldn't miss the trigger frame. It,
Uh-huh.
we made these.
Cool. So this is kind of like almost a bullpup cocker because the breech is so far back. And it's basically rim fire instead of center fire. Go ahead and pull the bolt out of there. So we can see there's no air through on the bolt.
No.
So it's rim fire, right?
Right.
Yeah. And that allows your breech to be so much further back. And also there's a tiny micro LPR on here. Probably a predecessor to like the Tickler design, maybe?
Yeah.
I would guess. Also the on-off if you want to bleed and fool some people. The Ironman had that on their guns. I guess you had that on your Signature series too. Yeah. This one's plated just like a...
With all kinds of really neat stuff.
Yeah, this one's plated just like a Signature series. Very cool. It actually contains a light. So a foregrip slides over it, and then it contains a light. Pull that safety out right there for me. Just this little button, pull it out. There we go.
That one box was empty. Over here.
Huh. That is a cool spring-loaded switch. Oh, so it's a two-directional switch, or just an on-off. I think it's just an on-off, preventing air from going to the LPR, but it also must dump the valve, I'm assuming. Or the trigger higher up actuates a sear to probably make the sear trip.
Before
I think she.
that thing you've been aired up in years and years and years. It's still good. Perfect. You know, and you couldn't hear it. It's real quiet. The bigger the volume of air, CO2, whatever you put through them, the louder they get.
Right.
But that one.
Oh my God! Bud Orr! Sign me! Sign me, please!
All right.
Sign my welt.
Sign my wound!
Oh man, give him a little tap right there. And the heart too. Where's the heart?
Draw the penis.
Take the picture.
Draw penis.
Alright, come on, I'd be honored for you to draw a penis on my stomach.
Do you Here's 2 rental bodies. Here we have just the R stamp. And then here we have the full rental. And Bud, you were saying that it's too much work just to stamp the whole thing out.
Yeah, look, that's all done by hand.
Yeah.
And they're all right feeds.